Hey guys, Harry here, back with another Bricklaying vlog. Today I'm carrying on with the footing. This is some old footage. I've got some more recent footage from last video, from the other day, but I won't put this up as a sort of a daily comment, as like a certain day. This will just be a deep footing, Bricklaying vlog. So we're running in this this side, obviously, one of these sides here. This was right at the start where the concrete was. This was before they backfilled it, and as you can see, I was laying the block at the wrong side of the line, so I had on the face side, but I should have ideally been working on the inside here. But live and learn. As you can see, it was a lot harder to get these down than it was in the next clip. But today's topic is going to be about what makes a good site and a good site to earn money on, and is it all about the prices you're getting, or is it worth jumping site for higher prices, or staying where you are at maybe slightly lower prices, depending on if you're building stone, brick, just block render, footing, superstructure. If you've been doing majority walls and garages like myself, and you do sort of smaller style work, which is more frequent. A lot of footings can be on the smaller side as well. This is a particularly big chunk of work, so this would be ideal. This sort of footing I'm doing would be ideal for like a two or three bricklayers. It'd be a good few days work for them, a good couple of days work, depending on how fast they were. Obviously, I was solo for a few of these days, and obviously I've been one-on-one for others. So it's given me a good, so far. I've done 5 days on it. If you count all the first half day and another half day, if it adds up to a total of day 5. So I've done 5 days on it, and I'm basically up to splash. So I've just got my corse 4-inch and then my brick, and at one side it's more brick. So obviously, when it comes to the topic, is it worth moving sites for higher prices or staying where you are? It all depends on the forklift driver. It all hinges on the forklift driver, if I can say that. Forklift driver and organisation of the site. I was working on the site I work on. It's 2 sites, but it's Red Road, but it's 2 sites on the same area. So it's just basically a road down the centre of a massive building site, and on one side it's classed as one site, and on the other side it's classed as another site. So I was working on the other side to what I normally work on, and we have a different forklift driver, and this particular forklift driver, nice lad, no wrong with him, but he just isn't as fast. You're not getting your gear as fast. It's taking you an extra, you're waiting 15 minutes to half an hour in between each lift, and those half an hours add up over a day. On one particular occasion, I was waiting a good an hour and a half to 2 hours for gear in total waiting time. So I lost about an hour and a half on travel to 2 hours. Luckily, I'd got a bit faster at laying these blocks, and I organised it to where we were loading up while we were waiting for gear. But I lost an hour and a half of total laying time at least. And luckily we still made some decent money, because I just got a bit faster at laying these and stuff like that, and different factors got my head around everything. But that's just one of the downsides of having a slow forklift driver. You're losing time. Another reason a badly organised site can slow you down is lack of materials. If you're waiting around for gear, where if it's like bricks, blocks, specials, damps, ties, anything like that, or reinforcing, or copings if you're finishing off some work, or sills and stuff like that, that can all have a massive effect on it if you're earning money or not. If everything's there on site, that can make a massive difference. So all these firms advertising 650, 675, 700, 1,000. There's normally a reason why they're advertising higher than the average, because I'd say the average price per thousand is now anywhere between 550 and 600. If you're getting anywhere around that and you're on an organised site, it's probably well worth staying. If you're on supers, footings can be very circumstantial. Like the footings I'm doing on this site, the only reason I'm doing them is because the firm can't get any gangs to do them, and they're behind. and it was right on the site where I was already working, so I wouldn't move to go do footings unless they were really, really good. I wouldn't drive, you know, more than half an hour, 40 minutes. You know, it's one of them things now where you'll lose more time travelling than you know, if you're travelling longer than half an hour to a site from where you live, you can lose in a good hour a day on the travel, and that can be worth anywhere between 50 to 100 quid. You know, especially if it's in a key hour where you're going to get a lot done, especially in the morning when if you're already loaded up your gobos here, you know, and then that hour you could lay 200 bricks. So it could be 100 quid you're losing a day just by travelling. So, and I'm not a big believer of the further away the site is, the earlier I get up. I get up at the same time every day, I go to work at the same time. And then, you know, my finishing times vary depending on what I'm doing, but I don't like to work any more hours just because the site's further away. So I'm a big believer, and as well, you know, you're tiring yourself out driving. You can be driving any longer than half an hour, you're getting fatigued, you know, and especially when it comes to the wetter weather in, you know, winter, autumn time, you know, you're driving a long way to get rained off. And I worked on a site, doing a fourth lift, which the third lift had only been took to Sillite, so there was quite a bit of meat left in the fourth lift. and I lost 3 days on a site where it was always raining. Everyone else worked them 3 days, I lost 3, because on this particular site we weren't very well organised, weren't getting gobbo. You know, the weather was really extreme. We were getting rained off 3.5 days on the trot. And just going to that site, even though there was, you know, a lot of work to do in front of me, you know, it wasn't worth me going. Do you know what I mean? I'd have been better, and it was about an hour and 10 minutes away from where I live. So that's another reason why, you know, if you're on a good site, it might not be paying the highest prices, you know, like these footings, for instance. The price of these, you know, these 225 by 300 by 440s, these super blocks, only 180 a block. You know, probably, the going rate's around £2, probably higher. But the only reason I did it is because right in front of me, I knew I could get my gear. Even though it wasn't as fast as the regular forklift driver we have, it's just, you know, it's still there. The work's there in front of me. You know, I know I'm not going to lose too much time. I know it's semi decently organised. The manager on this side of the site, which I don't normally deal with, we're happy with everything apart from a couple of my concrete lintels weren't bedded on quite, about 95 mil instead of 100. A bit nitpicky, but they wanted a bigger lintel putting on a couple of them, which only took me 10 minutes to alter. And then they wanted the gobbo scraping off the outside of the block, because where you flush these blocks up, it has a key on them, and the blocks were getting gobbo on the key around the joint, so they wanted it sort of neater. They wanted it like face work, really, which I was a bit annoyed about, because, you know, it's just not possible when you've got a non-facing block. It doesn't adhere well to being jointed or being filled. You know, the key is meant to be flushed, meant to be rendered over, really. So it did. You know, it was one of them things where we really needed a stiff brush. I've got one, but I just wasn't using it because I thought, what's the point? It's getting buried this deep as well. So it was one of them things that sort of annoyed me, but it wasn't. I talked to a couple of supervisors, so it's not to worry about. It's no, mate. You know what I mean? So, you know, you can just get, you know, managers who just want to stick the fork in and just have a quick twist on you and say, oh yeah, this isn't right. You know, it justifies the job at the end of the day. But anyway, so I'm not going to that. Other than that, back at work Monday. Back on I've got this footing round to. I've done everything bar the front bay and about 10 blocks to fill in on one of the front. But no, probably less than 10 blocks, about 8 blocks or something on one of the fronts. So I've done everything more or less on this footing up to splash. Just got to start the brickwork on it if I end up doing it. But I did promise the other side at site I'd go back and build them a boundary wall. There's just a panel to fill in. Someone else did like most of it, so I've got a straight panel to do and then topping off. But the topping off of the wall, it was built quite low, so there's a good 6 or 7 course to do on it. So They've scaffolded some of it, but scaffolding isn't really that high, so they probably stood on a milk crate or something. Hopefully they sort us a bit extra out for loading up all scaffold and that, because they don't make them wide enough either. It's just a bit of a ball ache. Last one I did, I didn't book out him for loading this narrow scaffold, but this time it's going to have to be, since they're not fixing it. You know, that was the general rule at the time when we're doing these walls. Because we put a scaffold up and we can't, no loading bay, no access really, we have to, you know, book something in for getting the gear onto where we need it. Whereas when you were trestling, you're getting paid for trestling it, and you can just lift your bricks onto the trestle like you would any normal bit of ground. So that's the only downside. You know, you sort of, I prefer to trestle a wall. My old man will disagree, but it's a lot easier to trestle than to lift your gear up a scaffold. I know scaffold's there, but to trestle it takes 2 minutes. You get paid for it, and you can do your wall in one go. You ain't got to wait for scaffolders to come back, so you can, in 1 week, you can start a boundary wall. You know, if it's a smaller one, you can, you know, get it up in a few days, and then get your trestles out, take it right to the top, and, you know, just start topping it off. And normally, you know, do it brick, you know, getting all your tiles on one day, then doing the brick on edge after on another. Nice Friday job, just doing some brick on edge. You know, gets it done in one go. So hopefully they send us back to Miller's where you can use trestles. So if I ever do take any walls on there, I can just trestle them right to top. And it's, you know, it has its upsides and downsides, but mainly, you know, I'd say, you know, scaffold's all right if it's done properly, and some of them were. It's just when they're not, they're just a bit awkward. So. But yeah, currently on holiday doing this voiceover, so you know, it'd be nice for a break. It's a big thing, especially when you know you've been working flat out in this heat. You need a nice break. You need something just to take your mind away from it all. That's why I've not made a video in a few days. I shouldn't really be making this in a hotel room, but Missy said I could, so. You guys are getting a video. I'm going to upload this tonight on hotel room shit Wi-Fi. Might take me about 2 hours. But yeah, it's all right. So as you can see on this clip as well, I'm doing, obviously still laying these super blocks. This is the last course on one gable. I've got footage from day 6 on this footing, or day 7. I think it's day 6. This is where we got it round basically to splash. You know, it's, you know, I'm not the fastest at footings by a long shot, but we still made decent money. It was a good week. I did 3 days this week, and I think I earned just shy of 700 quid, I think, something like that. So, you know, you're averaging 250 a day, about there. 250 gives you, what's that, 500 or something. So it's like 225, you know, a bit better than day work doing these footings on price. You know, so say you're getting 200 a day on day work, that's the going rate. Basically everywhere's advertising day work at 200, so 225 is not bad. It's still probably considered day work in some areas, but probably the further north you go, you know, you're getting probably lower prices than when, depending if you're in Harrogate or York and stuff like that. Probably you know, further south you go, your prices are going to go up. And then, like, sort of further north, it's going to go down in a sense, depending on where. It does depend on the area as well, you know, and what firm you're working for. But the price doesn't always, you know, it isn't always everything. Do you know what I mean? We, you know, the forklift driver has a massive impact. The organisation of the site has a massive impact. That's what's going to determine you, you know, making money. Not the, you know, price per thousand or the price per metre on blocks, you know. One thing as well is you've got to enjoy the work you're doing. So if, you know, you're taking on work that you don't really want to do, like me with footings, I don't mind footings. If I'm quite honest, you know, it's the first time back doing these big blocks in a long time. Never really was a fan of them years ago, but then again, I'm not a massive fan of the little dumpies, even though I could probably lay them a lot faster now. It's basically, you know, it's a bit of swings and roundabouts with them. You know, it's a love-hate relationship with these footings. Sometimes I love them, sometimes I don't. Like laying 4-inch blocks flat on retaining walls, fucking great. I love building them walls. Made some right money building retaining walls over the years. But, you know, footings like these, you know, on the houses, you know, love hate, maybe, you know, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. This particular one wasn't bad at all, you know, it was pretty square, only had a bay on the front. Whereas some footings have fucking, you know, angles going over, you know, it's just dog leg after dog leg. So, bit of a love-hate relationship on the footings. Obviously, more manageable work for one bricklayer and a labourer. Whereas, like on supers, you know, the one in gangs on it, you know, to get them up quicker. Whereas in footings, you know, they're a bit more lenient with the time schedule. Normally, they're getting in front, digging the, you know, pouring the trenches, pouring the concrete, you know, a bit farther in front. So you're not as pressured to, as much pressure in the footings, even though this site is behind. So that's why I'm on these. So I don't know whether I'll do footings again after this one. They have got another gang in after I did this one. They've got another gang to do some others. So, and they're not as deep as well, so they'll get thrown quicker. I think they've got another 2 and 1. So, you know, if they take all the footings, fucking hell, good on them. But I will do them if they want me to do them. I will do them if they want me to do them. Because I've assessed them again. I've assessed every aspect of me building them, and on the worst prices, on the worst bits of gear possible on these prices particular, I was still making money even at 180 a block. We got better at we got better at organising them on this sort of second stage after the first backfill, and we got better at organising where gear goes and everything. So that made a massive difference. And as well, I've heard comments about the bigger trowel. I've used 11-inch trowel on these. I've tried it out, but I tell you what, a 10 just does it just as good. There's no real speed increase in this weather by using a bigger trowel. Like I said in last video, maybe in winter when you can spread for 6 blocks without it going off, or these blocks are piss wet through. Yeah, maybe spread further. But, you know, a 10-inch trowel, 2 trowels full per block works perfectly, and you can't get 2 trowels full. You can't do it in 1 trowel in 11 either, so you're still going to take 2 trips to board to lay 1 spread. Probably on 11-inch you can butter it in 1 go instead of having to do it in 2 goes like in a 10-inch, so might be some merit to doing that, but I definitely much prefer using this 10, and definitely liking the WHS again. It's a lovely trowel. The steel's quality. It's just good to manoeuvre as well, the motor, so I can't wait to get back on this boundary wall on Monday. If that other gang has took over that plot, I've took over this footing I'm doing. So, you know, if they want to do Splash, you know, I'm a bit disappointed I didn't get to do brickwork, just so I could just do it, because it's just like a big square box. It's just like a 6-course garage, with a cavity on the inside, with 1 course of block. So it's no big deal. But I've had the easy trench work out the way, because it's sort of the easy part in a way. You know, you ain't got air bricks to put lintels over and stuff. They've got all the ball aching bit with the air bricks, so yeah. But if I don't, you know, I might end up doing it, you know what I mean. But, you know, with them asking me when I'm going to be back, because I took 2 days off this week, having the Thursday and the Friday off. I probably might. I do see them maybe sending the other gang on the Friday or so, depending on how. Depending on, you know, because I think they almost had the trench round on the day I left, so they might have been on it. They might have been on it on the Thursday. Might have got on this on the Thursday. Just filled the front in after he'd backfilled some of it, and then probably started on the brick. So I'm thinking Friday they'll be building this. So hopefully, when you're seeing this video, someone might be building this footing, and I won't have to do it. I can go back on boundary walls, which I prefer. To be honest, I don't even mind topping them off either. This tile brick on edge, I think we're getting anywhere between 15 to 20 quid a metre. I'm gonna ask our supervisor again, our manager we work for, because on one at sites we're getting 20 quid a metre, but it's basically the same detail as on this site. So I'm gonna check it out, see if we're getting 20 quid a metre on tile brick on edge, because, you know, I've been doing it at £15 a metre, and it's, you know, it'd be nice, just a little bit of extra help. You know, if you're doing 8 to 10 meters of it in a day, that's, you know, an extra 40 quid, and you know, it comes in handy paying labourer's wage, or you know, or any time we're losing, that 30-40 quid can make up the hour or two we're waiting for gear a day. And you know, it's all a bonus, you know, and you know, me and the old man, we make a good job of this tile brick on edge. Obviously a lot of gangs, it just eludes them, and a lot of bricklayers can't do it, so you know, we get it done pretty swiftly, and it looks neat, it looks presentable. So yeah, so hopefully I'll get some tile brick on edge footage next week. I didn't, obviously on the last wall I topped off, it wasn't tile brick on edge, it was copings, and that's remained. So hopefully they use that style again. It'll definitely reduce some of the workload. But obviously myself, I'm a big fan of this tile brick on edge, to be honest. It's, you know, it's decent. If you've got a nice big run of it, you know, you can really get them down, especially with especially using the Tyzac. So yeah, really enjoying using the Tyzac again. Going to be enjoying to get back on it, back using it on the brick as well. For all you London pattern fans on when it comes to the trowels. Be back doing some pick and dip. So obviously, you know, big pick and dip guy myself, and I'll enjoy, you know, picking some up with one hand for once, after doing a good 5 days. Picking every block up with 2 hands, not using a trowel mate either. So that's something that I'll probably consider doing actually again, because I've been doing pretty well with trying to lose weight. I've been reducing my food intake, not so much eating healthy, but just eating less. So I'm going to try get my waist size down a little bit, and get a comfy enough belt to maybe try out one of these Magnet Masters. Or I'm probably you know, I'm swaying towards the Magnet Master, but I'm going to let the hype die down a little bit, wait for a few reviews on them, and then maybe might go for the you know, these trowel holder things if I'm going to be doing these big blocks on the regular. Yeah, so anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. You're going to have intermittent videos for the next couple of days while I'm on holiday. I'm going to make one on the Friday night, and then I might make one on the Sunday. So you might get one every other day now until Monday, when I start making videos back full time again. Thanks so much for the support. We've hit over 700 subs. We're about 715. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. All the support is appreciated, and you know, I can't thank anyone enough. So right guys, I'll see you in the next couple of days with a video, and have a good weekend.